All right, welcome everybody. So today I want to talk about the idea of understanding the root causes of the problems that we're solving. So at this point, you've chosen a problem that you're interested in solving. And the next step here is to really start to understand and illustrate what's causing this problem and what happens as a result of this problem. So in dual school, we do this using a tree diagram, where we put our problem right in the middle as the trunk of the tree, and we show the root causes down below and the symptoms up above. Okay, so let's look at a quick example here to make this a little bit more clear. So let's just say, for example, the problem that we're working on is that students are tired. And we've observed this problem in school. And as we start to map out these different things, these different root causes and symptoms on the tree, we start to see some root causes, or maybe that the student maybe didn't sleep well, or didn't go to sleep on time, or has a lot of stress or unhealthy habits or time management. Um, and the symptoms of this problem are maybe that, they're falling asleep in class, or craving an energy drink, or, not learning well. So what's important to recognize here is that, one, as we start to illustrate these things, it starts to become more clear. We start to understand the problem better. But two, it starts to become clear that if you're working on the problem of students being tired, you don't want to address the fact that they're sleeping in class. Like, walking up to somebody and waking them up isn't going to make them less tired. That's just addressing a symptom of the problem. We really want to start to address the root causes, okay? And it reminds me of this quote, which I think many of you will have heard. When you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. When you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And it's really about this idea of, trying to find sustainable solutions. Like, teaching the man to fish is a more sustainable solution, whereas giving a man a fish is more of a band-aid solution, right? So as we start to map out our problem on this tree, we start to have an understanding of, what's really causing this, and how can I choose to attack the roots of this problem rather than just a symptom. Um, Another analogy that I've heard that I think is really smart is this idea of pulling weeds out of the ground. So if you've ever had, weeds in a lawn or in a garden, you don't just want to snip off the top. You want to actually pull out the roots so the weeds don't grow back. Okay. So when we solve for root causes, we're getting towards sustainable solutions, which is good. So caffeine might solve the problem of tiredness, but it's not addressing a root cause. So without addressing the root cause, the problem is going to stay, or it might even get worse. A more sustainable solution would be to get to sleep earlier, which is, I must recognize, it's a more challenging solution because it requires some behavior change. Having a cup of coffee is probably a much easier solution, but again, it's not going to get you towards sustainable change. So what would be great to happen next is if you all can start to map your problems on a tree. So starting to put together, what's your problem and what's causing it, and go down a few layers, right? So, go down, like, what's causing the cause of that problem? What's causing that cause? What are the factors? And then what are the symptoms? What happens because this problem is a problem? Okay. So go ahead and draw out your tree diagram. Thanks.